Hello there, my gorgeous friends on the internet. In this episode, we are gonna do JavaScript, yes. Animations, yes. Full-page.js with GSAP and everything else. Ooh. So as you can see here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna scroll a bit and it's gonna auto scroll for us to the next section on the page, which is also gonna trigger some animations. So sit back, enjoy, relax, and the code will be posted on GitHub anyway. So you can be lazy. You can just sit there and eat your popcorn at 12 in the morning. And let's get going. Okay, let's get going. So we have an empty file here, as always, empty as our lives. And the first thing we're gonna do is just make an index.html. For beginners out there, this is where you put the text and everything that you see on the page, but you probably already know this if you've been watching me. So now take a look at this shift and exclamation point. You get this thing, which is an exclamation point, and then you hit tab and boom, 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 auto generates everything for you. Okay, so the title of this is gonna be full page because it's a full page animation. Okay, so we're gonna go to the body, touch my body, and oh, let's not open that up first because those are the libraries that we're gonna use. And we're just gonna drop some basic code in here. Now we're gonna create a few sections and we're gonna use fullpage.js. So the way that works is in the body, the way you do it is you're gonna create a div like this, and then you're gonna give it an ID of full page like this. I'm gonna do all lowercase, okay? And in here, we're gonna add some sections. And these are basically the scrollable parts. So each section, if you scroll once, it's gonna scroll all the way to the other section. Okay, so we're gonna create a few sections here. I'm gonna create a section, and I'm also gonna give it a class of section like this and S1, so slide 1 or section 1, just to make everything clear. Okay, and actually we're gonna duplicate this a few more times to create more, but let's just add the H1 in here and we're gonna call this home decoration. Like that, okay? Now we can grab everything. Yes, I'm using the mouse. I don't know all the shortcuts in the world. And we're gonna go down here and duplicate this 3 more times. Okay, I'm gonna change the second one to S2 and we're gonna rename this to something like different styles, okay? And in here, we are also gonna have, I think, let's just put in a description. So we're gonna create a div with a class of description, like this. And here I'm just gonna drop in 2 paragraphs. So P, lorem 20, tab, and then we're gonna do another P tag with some random text. So let's do another P tag with lorem 10, and then hit tab, and it's automatically gonna generate some filler text for us. Okay, so we have the section 2 with H1 and a div with some paragraphs. Okay, and finally what I want to have down here is some images. Now these images will be provided in the link in the description, so you can click on that and get the images, but you can use anything you want. But if you want to follow exactly what I did in this tutorial, then you can use this. So I'm just gonna copy paste it over. Again, it's gonna be there, so don't worry. And in here, what you're gonna do is say image right below the description tag, description div. My apologies. And this one is gonna have a source of image. And actually, let me just quickly show you what I have in here. So we have a chair and another chair and another chair with different colors. They're the same size and everything. And the reason there is space here is because it has a shadow as well. So this one, the blue one, has a shadow. We have a couch here, which is gonna be our front page, a lamp, which I never used, but hey, if you wanna use it, it's here. And we have a sofa, and which is kind of like a couch anyway. Well, anyway, we're just gonna add the chairs in here. Now the order will matter because one of them has shadow, and that's the last one we wanna add. So if you wanna do the shadow last, or if you don't care, you can just do, we're gonna put the second one first, and then I'm gonna duplicate this 2 more times. I'm gonna put the, let's put the third one and the first one. Okay, let's just add chair here, chair, chair, chair. Okay, chair and chair to the alt. Okay, and then we're also gonna add a class here, and the class is gonna be chair and C1, so chair 1. And we might not need this. So let's just do chair. Chair, chair, chair. Okay, sounds good to me. Perfect. Okay, so we have this section. Should we add anything else? I think we're gonna leave it like this. And here, we're not gonna do this part. I just wanna show you the basic things, but you can continue along and create the section 3 if you want to add some other animations. So other, we're gonna name this other. Okay, perfect. So let's create our style.css, okay, to make this look nice. And for now, style.css, all we're gonna do is just link it. So go back to your index. We're gonna link our relationship. We're gonna add the style.css, and we're gonna leave it like that for now. Actually, let's just remove some basic stylings by adding the star sign forever, margin 0, padding 0. Okay, so basically we're removing all the basic stylings on our headers, on our divs, and everything else. And we're gonna add a box sizing of both the box. Okay, so all the margins and paddings that we add, we wanna make sure that they're constrained inside that box and it doesn't actually grow our box. So that's it. Okay, now let's open this sucker up. We're gonna click on index.html and open with live server. And wow, amazing. This looks so fancy. So as you can see, these don't have shadows, only this one. And the reason why is because we're gonna transition between them. And if you have all of them with shadow, it's gonna look crazy. So, okay, how do we make this look nice? Well, shall we make these chairs a bit smaller first of all, and then we're gonna go from there? Yeah, let's just do that. Yeah, okay, let's go back to our VS Code here, and we're gonna grab the chair, and the thing I'm gonna do is just add a height of 60%, like that, just make it a bit smaller, a position of absolute, and again, this is gonna be on the second page, so top is gonna be 70%, and you're gonna see this in just a bit, how we actually position this. Left is gonna be 50%, and we can perfectly position these with top 70% and left 50% if we add a transform translate of minus 50% and minus 70%. So the reason, again, if you not sure why we're doing this, is because we have the picture right here in the middle, right? And if we want to move it 50%, it's going to move right in the middle, but it's going to start from the middle, and then the item is going to go this way, right? So imagine that it starts from the middle, and then the chair actually starts from the middle point. So from here to the middle, all the way here. So it's not going to be in the center. So the transform translate, what it does, it takes that position of the item and it's just going to move it back 50%. So it's going to be straight in the middle. Okay, good. Now it's not in the middle because we added, let's see why. Why is this not in the middle? It's in the middle, but we have a shadow on here. So this box, again, it kind of stretches more, which is fine because this is kind of how I wanted this to look like. See, we have more empty space with the PNG. Okay, stop talking, Ed. Let's do this. Okay, so before we actually style everything here, we're gonna import this fullpage.js, which enables us to do this. Wow, fancy. Whoa, so smooth. Amazing. Okay, now what's the problem with this? The problem is that you can use it for free, but you cannot use it in a commercial, if you're actually releasing this as a commercial product, you have to buy it. It's not expensive, it's $9. Or £9 if you want to say that, for one developer, but we can just try it out and see how it works, and we can use it on our own projects if we're not actually, what does it say? Let's see. Okay, so it requires you blah 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 your project to be a public and licensed under GPL LV3. Okay, so if you want to create a client website, then you need to buy it, but hey, for us, just building out simple projects for fun, it's gonna be just fine. So to get this, all you have to do is click download. Okay, so after you hit download, what you wanna go do is open it up, go to dist, and then we're gonna get the fullpage.js, and you can do the min to save some space, and we can get the fullpage min.css. So we need these two, okay? So let me just drag them out here, and then drag them into the project. So let's go back to here, and we're just gonna drag it out into our project. Okay, perfect. So now we're gonna link everything up together, and then you're already gonna see some magic going on here. So link, go to fullpage.min.css, and down here, right before our body closes, script source, and then we're gonna say /fullpage.min.js. Okay, let's also create an app.js to add our own JavaScript, app.js, just like that. And to actually initialize this code, it doesn't take too much. Okay, it's quite simple. All you have to do is go here and say new full page like this, and then you're gonna add a quote mark and then a pound. So you're gonna add the ID of whatever you have here. So this big div with the ID of full page. So that's what you want to add in here. So whatever you name this one, in our case, we named it full page, so it's easy. And after you do this, you add a comma and you're gonna add a curly brace for an object. Now what you can do here is add different kind of properties for the way your full page animations work. So you can add like auto scrolling, and we can set this to true. And after we do that, make sure to also add your script tag here with your own script app.js. All right, make sure you want to add this because otherwise it's not going to work. And in theory, you should be able to do this. Just scroll a bit and boom, it goes to the next page. Now, I don't like this, as some people are really upset about using your scroll navigation like this. And to be honest, I don't like it either, because what if I'm down here and I want to navigate up really fast, and you have to wait till these animations happen. So I do agree that I don't like this, but as long as you have some buttons, navigation buttons to navigate from up all the way to down, to be honest, that's totally fine with me and I have no issues. Some people hate everything, and unfortunately, that makes very boring websites, but hey, to each their own. So let's add those navigations. How do we do that? We just add a comma in our app.js, and watch this. We can just say navigation, and we can say true, like that. Okay, and now we have these little buttons, and we can just go straight up or go straight down, so we can easily navigate. You can also customize these if you want. You can go to docs, you can search it up here. You can add a bunch of different things to it. Let's go down here and we might find some. As you can see, full page menu, you can have navigation position. You can move it from right to left. We can also add background colors to these sections in here, and just a bunch of different methods that you can use. For us, this is gonna be just fine. We don't need anything super fancy. That's gonna do the trick. Okay, so that's kind of what I want to have for now, and we're gonna move back to styling this up very nicely, and then we're gonna finish up with the animations. So let's pop open our VS Code again, go back to CSS, and here what I want to do is grab the first section. We're only going to grab the first section because I want to add that background to it. So we're going to say background image, like that. We're going to say URL, and we're going to navigate to image, and I believe it's the couch. Let's see, is it the couch? Yes, it's the couch. This looks terrible, so let's fix it up. We can just say background size, and we're going to say cover, like that, and that should fix it up nicely. And now I'm going to show you a trick how you can add linear gradients to your texts. So we can just grab the section H1, okay, which is this one right here. Okay, so this one we're also going to add a font size of like 64 pixels. We're going to position it absolute because I want to move it to a very specific place. Absolute, like that. And then we're going to add a top of 20% and a left of 50%. Okay, I kind of want to have it straight in here. Okay, so down here, what we're going to do is transform. As you can see, this is what I'm telling you about. If you move this left 50%, well, it's going to start straight from the middle. So here, right? So, hey, 50%. Okay, so this is where I put the text. But what we do is we translate this back 50%, the actual text, which means if you take this in half and move it here, it's going to be perfectly in the center. So that's why we're translating the X back by 50% and the Y position, so the top one, by minus 20%. Okay, hit save, and there we go. Perfectly in the center. So what I want to do is add 2 colors to this, which I kind of hand-picked out of this couch. And to do that, what we're going to do is go down here. The first thing you do is, rather than add color, you're going to add a background to this, a linear gradient background. And we're going to say to left, and the 2 colors I'm going to use is going to be 87C7DF, and a darker one, which is going to be 648896. Call now and get your free t-shirt. Hit save. Let's take a look. And as you can see, we have that background gradient on top, but I don't want it to be. I want it to be on the text. What is this bull? Okay, let's not swear. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to clip the text to that background color. So you can say WebKit. All right, we're going to need to use the WebKits here. And we're going to say background clip like that. And we're going to say to the text. Hit save. And as you can see now, it clipped. Now we cannot see anything, but what it did is it basically clipped that background to the text. But our text color is still black, right? You can imagine that we still have that gradient, but it's behind this text only. It's not here anymore. It's not covered by the box, it's behind the text. So how can we make that visible? Well, we kind of have to like reduce the opacity of this text, right? So there's a special way you can do that, and that's by saying WebKit like this and say text fill color like that, and then you say transparent. So you make the actual fill of the text transparent, which means that the background is gonna show over. So that way you have this nice gradient over the text. Wow, we just wasted 5 minutes on a gradient on text. Good job, Ed. Clap your hands. Wow, amazing. Okay, so anyway, that's what we have. Let's kind of style this a bit too. We can let's just grab S2 here. I don't want to spend too much time on this. We can just say background. Let's just copy. Let's copy this and paste it down here, and we're gonna modify this to left. Let's just say left top. Okay, and I'm gonna add a white color and like a grayish color. Let's do white here. Let's just do a kind of grayish color. See how that looks. Yeah, so you got a bit of gradient here going. Do we? I cannot see. I'm going blind. Let's raise this down a bit. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, we can see it. Let's just make it minimal, just a bit. Just a teeny bit. There we go, just a bit of color. Good. Okay, we have that. Now, I don't like the text actually on this page, so let's kind of change this, and then we'll move on to the animations. So we can say S2H1. We can just make the font size a bit smaller, 48 pixels. That's gonna do the trick. Now, if I want to change the color of this, it's not gonna work because you want to modify. If you modify just the background here, this WebKit is not gonna work. So you have to copy paste all of these 3 lines from up here down here. And I'm gonna just change this to like a dark, like a weird dark color. Something like this. Still a bit of gradient in there. Just a lighter dark to a darker dark. Wow, original. Okay, so that's what we have. Let's kind of fix up this description a bit, and then we can just do the animations. It's gonna be 1 more minute, okay? Very fast. Just grab description, just add a margin. Let's do 20%, like that, a width of 50%. Okay, just fix this up a bit. Margin left 5%, and then font size 20%. 20 pixels, not percent. Okay, good. And description P, I just add a bit of spacing in between those 2 paragraphs that we have. So this is top and bottom only, and left right is gonna be 0. So just a bit of space in between those 2. Okay, very good, very good. This is still a bit too close, I feel like, but it's okay. It doesn't even matter. We're gonna modify these with JavaScript. So actually, let's just move it now. Let's do 70% and 70%. Okay. No. Did it move? It didn't move. Oh, this is the section. My apologies. Where's the couch? Couch. There we go. Left. Let's do 70 and 70. Okay, so we have 70, 70 everywhere. A bit better. We're gonna position these with JavaScript anyway. So let's do it. Let's go to JavaScript. Yay! Here, the cool part is that we can integrate GSAP, which is an animation library. So let's import that. We can search GSAP CDN. You can also download it if you want. But two things we're gonna need here is tween max. So you can go to copy script tag, and let's just add it to our index.html. Up here, paste it, okay? So we got the tween max, and we also need, what is it called? Timeline max. With this, you can chain together multiple animations. So this is the animation, and tween max, timeline max enables you to do multiple animations. Chain together, I should say. Okay, so we have those two. So now in full page, what you can do is they have a method here called onLeave. So whenever you leave the page and you arrive to another one, this event is gonna trigger. So onLeave, like this. And here, this one actually is an arrow function that has 3 parameters. You have an origin, which is the position where you leave from. So the origin here would be, this is the page, this is the origin, and this is the destination. This is where we arrive. And finally, you also have direction, which we're not gonna use, but it's there if you wanna look into it. Okay. So basically what we want to do is we want to get the destination always. And based on that destination, we want to trigger different animations. So here, what we can say is say const section. So we can get the section that we're arriving on, and that is located in destination.item. Okay. Let me console log it for you to kind of see what's going on here. So if we console log that destination, take a look here. If we scroll down, as you can see, we have this section. And we have index, is first, is last, and we also have item, which is actually the section. Okay, so this gives us back the section. Let me also show you that. Make everything clear. Take a look. Boom, section 2. Boom, section 3. Okay, so it gives you back that section. Once we have that section, we can get the title. So we can say const title, and we can set this equal to section. So we can get that specific section and just get the h1 from that. Dot query selector, and we can say h1. Okay, so we get the h1 from each section. So now what we can do is create a timeline. So this is GSAP const tl equals new timeline max, like that. And what we can also do is add a delay here, which I'm going to show you why. Here, down here, we can just say TL from to. So from to gives us a position we want to start from and a position we want to end in. So here we can say we want to grab the title. That's the first thing. That's the thing we want to animate. The second thing is going to be the duration, which is going to be 0.5. Then we have a curly brace object here. And this kind of defines the position where you want to start from. So I'm going to say Y. The Y angle is going to be from 50. Okay, and the opacity is going to be from 0. And the second object is where you want to arrive to. I want to arrive to Y0, and at the end, I want to have the opacity at 1. Okay, so the starting position and ending position, basically. That's all it is. Hit save, let's take a look. Scroll down, and it happens, but as soon as we scroll, it starts happening. So what we want to do is delay the scroll. So by default, this scroll is lasting 700 milliseconds. Now, how do I know that? It's because I spend a lot of time looking at this and going crazy. So what you can do is add a small delay to this. So here we can just add an object with a delay of 0.5 seconds, okay? So now we can see the actual animation because it's gonna wait a bit. There we go. Perfecto. So what if I want to have specific animations for each page, right? Maybe only here I have these images or this text, and I don't want to do some animation with this paragraph, for example, because I'm selecting it here, right? And if I go down here and I don't have a paragraph, it's gonna throw error, error, we have an error, and everything is gonna blow up, nothing's gonna work anymore, and we're gonna cry. So how can we fix that? Well, the way we can fix that is we can add an if statement, the good old if statement. We can just say if our destination, and we can just say .index, okay? Because each of these sections have an index, triple equals, and you just give the name of the section you want to have specific animations to. So in this case, not cage, we're not animals. The index doesn't start, the index starts at 0. So this would be the first page, this would be index 1. So if I want specific animations for this page, then I would add 1 and I would add the rest of the animations in here. Now, why did I add the title in here? Because I want this to happen on each section. Okay, so if you want general animations that happen on each section, then you can just add it up here without any if statement. Okay. So in here, we can select the chairs, set this equal to document.query selector all. I'm going to select all of them and say .chair. Perfect. And finally, we have the description. So we can select that as well. And we can say description, like that. Okay. So we have those two, and we can just start animating everything. Very simple. You can just say TL again, from to, like that. And then we can grab the chairs, like that. And we can add a delay of a time of 0.7 seconds. That's the duration. And the thing that we're going to do here is we're going to do some magic. We're going to move the chairs in, and then we're going to fade each one of them out, fade them in. So one of them is going to keep layering on top of each other, which gives this illusion like the chair is changing its color, but we all know it's fake. So what we do is add an X, and this is why I kind of told you that actually an object here. The position doesn't really matter precisely because we're going to position these here in JavaScript anyway. So I'm going to add X of 100%, and in here we're going to say minus 10%. Okay. Let's take a look if this works. So there we go. It works. Do I like the position of this? Not really. So you can kind of play around with this and see kind of what you like. All right, something like that. It's a bit better, maybe 35. There we go, something like that. Okay, so we have the chairs. Now make sure you don't close it up in here with dot, a semicolon, because we're gonna chain multiple animations. So the way you chain is you just add another dot and say from to. Okay, and here we're kind of gonna repeat ourselves. We're gonna get chairs, chair 0, so the first chair from this node list, and then we're gonna add 1 second to this. I'm gonna add a bit more and just add opacity 0 to opacity 1. Okay, that's all we're gonna do. And what we're gonna do is just duplicate this 2 more times and just change this to 1 and 2. Okay, and that's it. Let's take a look. And as you can see, now it comes in, and then it starts changing the colors. Okay, let's try again because it fades in. The transition doesn't happen anymore. Okay, so this doesn't work, it just fades in. And what I want to have, so it works, it looks very nice, but what I want to change is this one, I want to put it to 1. Okay, so the first chair, I want it to be visible from the starting position as well. So when we go down, it just comes in like this nicely, and then starts changing the colors to see different styles. And at the end, we also get that nice shadow just popping in. There we go. Very cool. So that's how you can chain together animations. You can also add the text if you want. Let's say I want to add it here. I can just say from to again. We can grab that description, maybe add a 0.75 to it, whatever you want, and just kind of copy whatever we had up here with the title, just to keep everything consistent. Paste this in here, and there we go. That's just so simple how you can add and mix these up together. So if you want to add more, you just go down here, make another if statement for the second page, and yeah, that's gonna be it. Take a look right there, very simple. Thank you again very much for being here with me again and watching these episodes. Hope you enjoyed this one. This was hard to make a bit just because the weather outside is so gloomy. Spooktober is on to us, it's rainy. It's hard to film just because I have these lights on me and it burns my retina. I can't see anymore. Okay, until next time, make sure to give yourself a kiss at night. What am I talking about? Okay. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace, peace.